What's going on, everybody? I'm blessed to be bringing on right now 2023 point guard at St. John's High School, Malik Mack. How you doing, man?
Everything's going well, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty great. Thanks for asking. Anyways, I guess before we get this interview going, is there anything that you want to plug or anybody you want to shout out?
Nah, not necessarily. I'm just ready to get the interview started for real. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Even though you said you're ready to get started, I still want to kind of warm you up a little bit to this interview, kind of get you as more comfortable. Even though I'm sure it's not really a big deal to you, but I kind of bring up some random topics. Whether it's like talking about the NBA, talking about pop culture, whatever. So, what I just want to talk to you about because I see you got AirPods in. I'm actually gonna get them as a graduation gift, hopefully soon, from my cousin. So, I mean, what AirPods do you have, and I mean, how do you like them? Because I want to make sure I made a good choice.
Right now, I'm not sure which AirPods these are. My mother actually got them for me because I've been using the headphones a lot, and they're very useful. Using for times like now or when I'm just listening to music because I normally I walk around the house a lot just blasting my music out. So she's got me the AirPods. So for me, they've been real useful.
Yeah. Do you like play basketball on them at all, or is it more just like when you're chilling or sitting down, you have them in?
It's more like when I'm chilling and just chilling right now or like doing work or something like that, I'll just put my headphones in. Like I had to listen to a video or something, I'll just put my headphones.
Yeah. So if you're in the gym, even if you're like you're lifting or something, you won't put in the AirPods. You'll just have to deal with it because you think they'll fall out.
Now, if I'm lifting or in the gym, I probably get on the speaker. I like blasting my music. So if
Yeah.
I'm in the gym or something, yeah, I probably try to get on the speaker.
All right, so what if let's say you were in like LA Fitness or something. I don't know if you got that. I'm assuming you do. Let's say you were in like LA Fitness, like a public gym where you can't just like be on aux, like it's not like your gym. Then what do you do?
Oh, now I put my headphones in then. But if I'm just working out basketball, then I don't need my headphones. But like if I'm in LA Fitness on the treadmill or something like that, then I'll put the headphones in for sure.
Yeah, I guess like our most important question would be like, would I be able to go to the gym or like play basketball or just like shoot around by myself with AirPods in my ears, or will they just like fall out all the time?
Nah, you could probably. I know some people that warm up in their headphones, like in shooting around there, had their AirPods in. For me, I can't do it. I did it one time, and the ball had hit me. My AirPod that fell out. I was like, nah, I can't do it no more. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I'm sure if a ball hit me in the face, that probably happen to everyone too. But that's another thing too. I want to bring up. You're I wouldn't say you have like the world's coolest name, but your initials are Eminem. It's a pretty cool candy. I don't know if you got if that's a nickname. If you got any cool nicknames.
Nah, everybody they just call me Sway. From where I'm from, everybody just call me Sway. Like something I got in middle school, playing with Doug and Daniel. We went to the same middle school, and that's how I like came apart. Kind of like how I move on the court, just smooth. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I guess we kind of really hop into more the serious, more basketball side of the interview. Playing for St. John's, I only saw you guys play a few times, City of Palms. That didn't go too well. We'll talk about that a little bit, but just playing for St. John's overall, what's it like? Being a part of that program.
I love it. We got all the resources in the building. Our coach he lets us play like he lets you play your style of basketball. Although we have a structure, he lets you play your style of basketball, and then everything around it. I mean, it's just perfect for me. So I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I was about to ask. You bring up the resources. I know. Didn't you guys get like a new locker room or like a bunch of new stuff like a few years ago?
Yeah, they just built up a new weight room, new locker room. They didn't redo the gym, but like they redid like the outside of it, like soon as you walk in. And so yeah, it's like a brand new facility almost. So yeah, it's really A1.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely pretty sick for sure. And kind of going into this season, how do you think the season was for you guys?
For St. John's, our season, I mean, it didn't go too as good as we hoped for, but we dealt with a lot of adversity that year, a lot of injuries, and so we were just trying to make our way through. And later in the season, we started playing a bit better. We didn't get as far as we wanted to, trying to win the conference and win states. We didn't accomplish our goal, but I feel like we got better towards the end and dealt with the adversity in a good way.
And if you could kind of like dive into that a little bit, I mean, what sort of adversity were you guys facing? Because I mean, when you look at your team's roster, I mean, for me, I feel like City Palms are the perfect example. I think you guys played a couple teams where you guys kind of had the more notable players on the roster compared to some of the other teams. Somehow, you guys didn't win a single game over there. So, what was that adversity you guys really facing? How are you really able to deal with that as a team? Because I think you guys could definitely had a much better season than you did.
To start the season, we didn't really have too much chemistry, and then like we had a few guys playing through injuries. When we were down at City of Palms, the second game, one of our best players, Logan, he got hurt. First play of the game, he had towards ACL, so he's out for the season. And then, like I just mentioned, we had a few guys playing with injuries. Christian Watson was playing through injury. Donnie was playing through injury. So that was like part of the adversity that we was going through, trying to mesh in the beginning of the season, as well as guys being hurt, not playing 100%.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I mean, I'm just kind of scrolling through the schedule right now. I'm trying to look at some of the losses. Would you say the season was super frustrating? Because I feel like for majority of the games, like the only time you guys lost was like in a blowout was versus Paul the Sixth. I think the second time you played them, but basically every time like you played like or you lost a game it was always like so close. It was like a 3-point game or like something like went into overtime or something like that. So almost how frustrating was a season where you guys are either winning games or you're just like so close to winning games. You guys could technically have been like undefeated if a couple plays went your way because all your games were super close.
It was a little bit frustrating. Obviously, you want to win those close games, and we just felt like we were just like one play, a couple plays from getting over the hump, and it was just certain plays or certain games where we just couldn't do it, and then like we were just trying to adjust. We had to like switch a few things up in our offense to start the season. We wasn't scoring as much as we wanted to, and so it was frustrating trying to get over that hump. But like I said, like I feel like we was trying to just deal with a lot of adversity that year, and so um, towards the end of the season, we started dealing with it a bit better. A couple games we felt like we should have won, and then like I feel like we was digging ourselves in a lot of holes as well. So a lot of those games you see on the schedule that was under 5 points, under 10 points. A lot of those games we were down and had to fight our way back in, and so we couldn't just get over that hump.
For sure. So next season now, I mean, it's kind of going to be your team next year. Your class 2023. You're going to be one of the seniors. What are you going to try to do for the team to just improve on a disappointing season that you guys had this year?
Next year I want to be a better leader. I feel like last year I did fine being the leader, but I wasn't a senior on the team. So at times I feel like it wasn't my responsibility when I should have been the guy that was being more demanding of my teammates. So I know next year I'm gonna have to be a way better leader in order for us to win games. That's the main thing I wanna get better at.
Mm-hmm. And being a point guard, I feel like that's like just super important characteristic that a point guard needs to have. Like, you're kind of the floor general. You're almost the guy that the whole team, I guess you could say, revolves around. So, what's your point guard style in a way, and how does it really just help the team play? Because the point guard is usually kind of like in a way, the quarterback of the basketball team.
My style of play, I mean everybody where I'm from knows that like I can really score the ball. Um, but then playing with St. John's, I was surrounded by a lot of talented guys. So finding my way to facilitate with St. John's, we had a lot of balls in my hands often. So just being able to make a play, get downhill, get in the paint, and make the right decision whether they're scoring the ball or facilitating. And then I also feel like I'm a good leader as well, but I can improve on that.
And a couple guys that I guess you're maybe able to look up to in a way, Shane Lancaster, Christian Watson. What was it like, playing under them for a couple years?
Playing with Siwa and Shane was great. Siwa, a really talented offensive player, shoot the ball, can handle. Shane, great leader, can also shoot the ball really well. So playing with them two, it was like I was very comfortable with my teammates. Had trust in them when I get in the paint, kick the ball out. I had trust in them knocking down shots, and I also had trust in them to make plays for themselves.
And St. John's, I guess you could say, are one of the more notable teams in the DC area. So, you mentioned a couple players that, just a year older than you. Were there maybe any guys from the DC area, or guys that were at St. John's maybe when you were a freshman or something that you also looked up to?
My freshman year, I played with Ishmael Leggett, who was at Rhode Island, and he's one of the guys I kind of looked up to coming in, trying to see how to do things, or how to just trying to see how to do things on that high level. And he was the guy who kind of took me under his wing and showed me like the work I had to put in to be successful on this level. And he was a great leader. He wanted to win every night, so something I want to take from him.
For sure. And kind of going into the DC area now, obviously that's where St. John's is, so we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. What's it like? Obviously, you're not like living like in the White House. What's it like kind of living near the nation's capital?
Living near the nation's cap. I mean, you get everything actually. From best basketball players, best football players, to got a lot of smart students, a lot of people that do music. I mean, it's literally like anything you want to do in the DMV, you capable of doing it. And then me being from PG County, like I feel like basketball is like A1, like everybody here could hoop. So that's probably the best thing about being around here.
Yeah, and what specifically makes DMV Hoopers, DMV basketball just so special? Because that whole conference you guys are in, the what's it called, the I always forget, it's like what, WCAC, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the WCAC.
Yeah, like obviously, I forgot, that's like one of the toughest conferences, not the toughest conference in high school basketball to win. So just what makes DMV such a tough place to play?
Everybody is skillful. Like everybody could put the ball on the deck. Everybody can shoot it, and then everybody is tough. Like there's no soft players out here. Like everybody got that dog in them. So nine most games, 9 times out of 10, is just gonna come down to who wanted more, because everybody got the skills and everybody can shoot, everybody can dribble, everybody can pass. It's about who got more dog in them. So that's probably like the most special thing about being from here, the talent wise.
And I would say the top teams in the WCAC, I would say it's you guys, it's Gonzaga Prep, or I don't know, whatever, Gonzaga. It's you guys, St. John's, Gonzaga, Paul VI, and also DeMatha. I feel you guys are kind of that notable four teams. Do you have like more of a rival out of those four, or a rival in the WCAC?
Yeah, our big rival is Gonzaga. So every time we play those guys, like crowds packed, the student section going crazy, talking crazy. Like, yeah, Gonzaga probably our biggest rival for sure.
Yeah. What makes Gonzaga your biggest rival compared to some of the other schools?
It's just a long tradition. Like it dates back to when the schools first opened. They was always rivals. So like we just carrying the tradition really.
So then is DeMatha's rival, like, is theirs Paul VI, or who would their rival be?
I'm not sure who DeMatha's rival is. I feel like every time DeMatha goes out there, everybody wants to beat him. So I feel like they rivals really everybody. Like every time DeMatha play, the crowd gonna be packed. So
Yeah, and choosing to play for, I mean, I don't know if this was a choice or like if your parents forced you to, but I guess choosing to play at St. John's, was that always like a plan of yours? Like, is that almost like your dream high school to play at, or what really led you to play for that school?
in the DMV, you treat picking a high school almost like treating it like picking a college. Like all the schools come after you. They recruit you in a way, and you just see which school fits you best. And for me, I felt like it was St. John.
What was it about St. John's? I mean, I know we mentioned it, but in the beginning, what was it really, those reasons? Was it like the facilities and all that stuff, or why'd you choose to play at St. John instead of going to DeMatha or Gonzaga or Apollo 6 or another school?
I feel like just St. John's was the best fit. A couple of other schools in the WCAC, they had guards, people at my position that was just like a year ahead of me. So I felt like just going to St. John's was the best. And then I also wanted to play in the WCAC. It was like best conference, one of the best conferences in the country, as well as academic opportunities. So that was like top reasons why I chose St. John's, right? But out of the conference, they probably had the best situation for me and my family, as in like trying to get minutes as a freshman and things of that nature.
And something with DC as well. I feel like we both talk a little differently. I feel like maybe have a little bit of an accent to you. I spoken to a couple people who were like, yeah, in the DMV, or from Baltimore, we kind of got a little bit of an accent. What do you think? Do you think you have an accent, or no?
I mean the DMV, yeah, people got different accents. I know Baltimore talks way different from how we talk in PG County or DC. Some people in DC got real strong accents, but like it just kind of like depends on the environment you grew up in. So, but yeah, we definitely do got our own little lingo, slang, stuff like that. I can't really hear the accent because I'm from here, so but people do tell us that we do have an accent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like describing accents, but I just know like compared to the other people, like the players I talked to yesterday, for example, like I feel like people in DC just always have like a distinct way of just like the way like their voice. It's almost like the pitch of their voice is just like just different from everyone else. It's like super weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can agree with you on that one.
Yeah. And now transitioning to AAU basketball, playing for Team Takeover, they're one of the more well-known EYBL programs. They kind of have a little bit of a legacy. What's it like playing for them?
Um, Playing for Team Takeover is really amazing, honestly. Coach Keith, he's gonna demand a lot out of everybody. If anybody knows Coach Keith, they know like once we get in between them lines, he's all serious like business, like, and he gonna go crazy a little bit. But then off the court, he a great dude. And then like your teammates is the best of the best. A lot of people from the WCAC, a lot of people from surrounding schools in the DMV. You might have a few kids from Baltimore, so like it's really like the best of the best every time you walk in the gym.
Uh, do you feel like I kind of saw a video a little bit. I watched a little bit. There was like a series, I guess, about Team Takeover. Probably a few years ago. I think it was when Trevor Keels was on the team, and they made like a road to Peach Jam kind of thing. It did seem like a really really strict program. Would you say that's the case?
Um, I mean, some people from the outside looking in, a lot of people do say it's strict, but I feel like Coach Keefe, he just a serious dude. He old school guy, so no nonsense type of guy. So that's just what's expected when you're in the program. I mean, it's not nothing really crazy to us because we kind of used to it, but that's just what's expected.
And a lot of players like they almost kind of hate that that old school style where like they don't like to be bossed around too much. They just kind of like to go out and do the thing. They don't like the more conservative, the more old heads to the basketball world. So why are you kind of okay with playing for Team Takeover?
It's prepping you for the next level. Like you got to do what your coach is asking you, and he's not asking us too much. Really, just teaching us like life lessons, discipline, things of that nature. And if you can't do the simple things, then you won't be ready for the next level. And that's basically what he's preparing us for.
And I think Donovan Freeman, he plays with you guys too, right?
Yeah, Donnie's on our team. He on my high school team and my AAU team. Yeah.
Yep. So that's what I was about to ask. I mean, what's that kind of like? Playing AAU also with someone that's on your high school team.
It's amazing. Like, especially like once you get onto the AAU court, because you already got chemistry. A lot of people just now playing with each other, and then like get to see each other's growth and see how talented of a kid Donnie is, how much potential he has to be a really good player. So it's like for the last 2 years, it's been like real amazing to be on the same team as him.
And you guys, I mean, he's not the only 2024 guy that you guys have on your team. What's it like for you, playing UIBL, playing 17U with, a handful of guys on your team that should be playing 16U right now?
It's a little bit different because we haven't been on the same team growing up. Because a lot of the players on our team have been on the same team since like seventh, eighth grade. It's a little bit different, but they talented and they grasp things quickly. So it hasn't been too difficult being on the same team as them, and they really talented. So like it's real fun being on the same team as them.
And I guess you could say you guys aren't having the best EYBL experience so far. You're 2-6. How are you guys going to really try to turn that around?
2-6 right now, not a good thing, but turning around, I feel like we got the talent to do so. We got the discipline to do so right now. I think it's just coming down to us being consistent. There's a couple games that we just let the league get a little bit too big, and then we fall all the way back. But the hole we dug was too deep. But the games we won, we was just staying consistent throughout the whole game. So like that's probably the main thing for us right now is just being consistent throughout the whole from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, just being consistent. I feel like we can compete with any team in the country.
And looking, I guess I don't know if you've looked into your UIBL division before, but I mean, you guys have so many little teams. You have from New Hampshire Lightning, you got Team Mello, you got Team Duran, Drive Nation, and Team Hero also aren't doing too good either. But they're still in your division. Do you think that you guys have like the hardest division in EYBL?
I haven't looked at the other divisions too much, but when I saw our division, I did see that it was a tough division. I'm not sure if it actually might be the best division actually from top to bottom, but I feel like we could be the best team in our division if we just piece it together and stay consistent.
And you've played 8 teams already. Is there a team that you're either looking forward to playing again in the future, or a team that you haven't played yet that you really want to face on EYBL?
Nah, not really. I feel like we already done played a lot of good teams, and everybody in the EYBL is good. I think right now we're just focusing on ourselves, focusing on our next opponent, just trying to go 1-0 each time we step on the court and make our way to peace.
What about in terms of playing Team Durant? I know they got the best of you guys in Orlando. I was maybe say that's like one game you almost kind of want to get your revenge at since they beat you guys.
Yeah, of course. Of course, you always want to beat Team Durant. They from the area, just like how we from the area. So we always want to beat them and be the top dogs in the area. So if we get a chance to play them again, we definitely will be wanting to win that game. Even though we trying to win every game, we definitely will want to win that game. And yeah, like they always amped up to play us, and we should be amped up too to get after them. So if we get a chance to play them again, I think it will be a good game for sure.
Would you say in terms of AAU, in terms of DC basketball culture, like playing Team Durant, is that more of like a rivalry kind of thing between Team Takeover and Team Durant, or is it almost like you're basically playing against your boys that are all on Team Durant because you guys are all from the same area?
Um, a lot of people consider it a rivalry. I don't know if it's a rivalry, but I feel like every time, yeah, of course, like every time you step on the court versus them, you know a few guys on their team, and you gonna want to beat them for bragging rights, and you gonna want to beat them, like yeah, basically for the bragging rights, just to say you beat them. Like you gonna see them guys every weekend when you in the gym, or like you might go to the same school with some of those guys. So of course you want to beat them and have the bragging rights over them.
And going to your recruiting process now, you have a few offers. You got some notable ones. I mean, you got Harvard, which is pretty sick. We gotta break that down. You got NJIT. I got to school FGCU, Dunk City. I don't know if you can dunk, but still, that's what it's called, Dunk City. Um, I mean, what's it like, going through this recruiting process, and how has that all been for you?
The recruiting process has been real interesting. Um, you get to see what some of these coaches are talking about, see the difference in how they recruit, and once I take a few visits, you get to see the schools and see how it looks and what's the vibe like at their school. So right now, the recruiting process has been real interesting. Just trying to soak it all in, honestly.
Being a smaller guard, you're not 6'1". Do you think that at all has any sort of effect on your recruitment, your size?
Um, I'm not sure. I know. I mean, it's a few guards my size that's getting looks from the biggest schools in the country, but I'm not sure really. I think schools just come and watch, see how you play, and if they like you, they'll talk to you, and if they don't like you, they won't talk to you. So I'm not really concerned about my size. I may like want to get a little bit stronger, but I feel like at my height I'm good. Like I feel like I know how to play at my size. So not really.
So I know you did get that FGCU offer about a week ago. So I guess obviously things are going right on the UIBL circuit. But are there any other teams that maybe just been showing you some recent interest?
Yeah, a few schools have been showing me interest. A few schools wanted me to take a visit. Harvard wants me to come up there and take a visit. I'm not sure when I'll do that. I talked to Bucknell today. They want me to come visit Florida Gulf Coast, Mount St. Mary's, and I talked to Coach Cohen from Xavier a little bit too. So those are really like the schools showing me the most interest. And UMass Lowell, like I talk to them often. And Canisius as well. So yeah.
And in terms of school like Harvard, I guess you say they're not a complete basketball blue blood. Turns out the whole national scene, but they're known. I don't actually think they are the number one school in the country anymore. I think it's either Princeton or Yale now. But regardless, like if someone thinks what's the top school in the country, everyone's always like, oh, definitely Harvard. So getting an offer from them, knowing that they have that crazy reputation. How cool is that for you?
Um, it's kind of hard to process, like everybody tell me like how like obviously you already know that Harvard is a it's a great school, great institution, but like once everybody kind of sees that you got interest or offer from Harvard, it's kind of like, whoa, like it's a big deal. Like you kind of change your life going there. So
Yeah. What are you looking for in a school?
a school that's just gonna let me play my game, a good style of play, obviously good academics. I got good grades, and a school that I can fit in with, uh, like their vibe. Like if I like when I go on a visit, if I like how it is up there and how the school is and things of that nature. So.
When you ended up getting into Harvard, since you kind of brought up some academics, did that at all like boost up your ego a little bit? Like, oh, okay, so I'm kind of like Harvard smart. That all kind of bring up your ego a little bit about how you are in the classroom.
Yeah, a little bit for sure, but yeah, definitely it will. But I mean, I already feel like I'm a smart dude, but yeah, that'll definitely help.
For sure. And talking about your game now, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Wrap up this interview. We mentioned you being a small guard. I feel like you mentioned there's a lot of some other smaller guards that are getting offers from some of the best schools in the country. I wouldn't say it's not terrible to be a small guard, but I feel like it's almost like a whole category of a player itself. I feel like they have a reputation of being hard workers, being a little bit scrappy, defending well, being crafty at times on offense. Would you say you kind of fall into those small guard categories?
Yeah, I feel like I definitely fit, fall into those small guard categories, just being crafty on the offensive end, um, digging in defensively, trying to get a few steals, things of that nature. Working hard. You always gotta work harder than everybody else. You're the smallest guy out there, so and then you also gotta communicate. Like that's a big thing with being a small guard. If you ain't out there communicating, you probably won't be on the floor. Cause I mean, if you can't talk, they put a 6'4" guy out there that can't talk either. And 9 times out of 10, he probably got a little bit more with him because he's a bit bigger. So
And I guess we could say you're definitely a little bit under recruited, especially for being on first team WCAC. I feel like maybe some things maybe in terms of the recruitment process, national attention, a lot of stuff can maybe going a little bit better for you. So what's it like also being I guess a little bit underrated?
it doesn't really bother me because I know every time I step in between those lines, I feel like I'm one of the best players on the court every time. So being under recruited, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I know once I get the ball in my hands, I'm one of the best with the ball. So it doesn't really bother me too much. I feel like when I'm on the court, you're gonna have to prove to me that you're one of those guys. So being under recruited, I don't really it don't- like when I step onto the court, I ain't really thinking about that. I'm here to win, here to play the game, and I don't care who you are, what's your ranking, how many offers you got. It don't really matter to me. So
For sure. And one of my final questions to be able to wrap it up, on a more positive note. Just what do you want your legacy to be like once you step away from the game of basketball?
um, number one, like just having great character, being just having a good name. Like nothing negative could be said about me. Like no matter how I played the game, just whoever I was around, I was a good person, and that I could also hoop as well. But the main thing is just being a good person because that's probably worth more than anything in the world. Having a good name.
Mm-hmm. I know I said that was my last question. But I don't know. It's kind of came into my head just now. So I'll ask it. I was gonna bring this up. We were literally a second ago. We talked about the whole small guards thing. I mean, you got a guy like Allen Iverson. As your profile picture on Instagram, is that guy? I mean, is that really like your inspiration in a way?
Yeah, Allen Iverson. I feel like growing up, Kobe Bryant was really my favorite player. But then, like as I got a bit older, I wanted to look at somebody who was like around my size, and so AI was like one of the first guys because like he could really score the ball, and so like and he was fearless too. Like nothing was gonna rattle him when he got on the court. So like that's a guy I really like. I watch a lot of him. I study him. I study his game. I watch a lot of his stuff. Like I watch a lot of his stuff on YouTube. So that's my favorite player of all time. Him and Kobe Bryant, my two favorite. They don't back down from nobody.
And I'm assuming Allen Iverson doesn't know you personally, but regardless, I feel like Allen Iverson's touch on the game of basketball and on calling smaller guards like yourself, he definitely left an impact and kind of helped. I feel like players like you to be a little more respected. What do you think? Allen Iverson's legacy on the game was able to do for you?
I feel like he just showed that it don't matter your size or where you come from. Like if you could hoop, you could hoop. So I feel like that's the main thing AI did was he put on for a lot of guys who was like who couldn't express being themselves before he played, and after he was done playing, like you could be yourself on the court. It didn't matter as long as you got the job done. It really didn't matter your size, your weight, height, how you acted. I mean, how you act off the court does really matter, but like how you carry yourself, like he was different from the rest of the guys. So I feel like he just showed as long as you get the job done, it's not much they can do to deny you.
Definitely. Well, Malik, really appreciate you coming on, taking your time. We got a little tradition that we do these interviews where we're both going to describe, we're going to say one word that kind of, summarize what we talked about, like a one word summary for the interview. So I'll go first. I'll put you on the spot or go second. So I think, something we really talked about a lot because, of course, you're talking about you as a player. So I guess, we gotta go point guard. I feel like, you just have that point guard look to you. I don't know if it's, because of the AirPods or I don't know. I feel like sometimes point guards don't have like crazy hair. Your hair is just kind of like it's kind of standard. You kind of have that little point guard swagger to you. I feel like a little bit of confidence, which a lot of point guards have. So I feel like just kind of summarize the whole interview since we really talked about, we ended it off really talking about one of the greatest point guards of all time, Allen Iverson. So I think my word to kind of summarize what we spoke about in the interview would be point guard.
Yeah, I'd probably say fearless too. Just being fearless, like being a small guard, being a point guard, like you can't have no fear on the court. You gotta feel like you're the best player out there. So I mean, it's a couple words I could go with, but fearless is one of them. Point guard, I feel like point guard is a good one too.
Yeah, I gotta applaud you for that because I hope like some of the, a lot of players get some. We have some good responses. We have some cringy responses. I've been doing this. This probably like my 10th interview, maybe doing this like whole one word summary thing. And fearless is one of the more unique words I've gotten. So I'm definitely impressed. Impressed with that response.
No problem. I appreciate it.
Yeah, but anyways, man, make sure you guys give us both a follow on Instagram. His is at pg.sway, and I'm iHoopsFL. Anyways, for 2023 St. John's High School and Team Takeover point guard Malik Mack, I'm Isaac Fleischer, and this has been another iHoopsFL interview. Peace out, guys.